What's up, everybody? Welcome back to After the Snap. I'm your host, Tasha Pierce, and this is the Midweek Meltdown. Oh, and I just noticed I still got this green background going on over here. This is the Meltdown, where we will talk about what's going on in this final midweek installment of 2021. So, what it do? Hopefully, everybody is well. I'm going to make some changes here. Oh, I think that's better. I think that's much better. So, we're going to jump this thing off with a very sad, it gets to a point where you start to know that some of the celebrities, some of the people that you grew up watching on television, uh, in this case, even enjoying in a video game, you get to know these larger than life personalities, and you know that their days are definitely coming short because of the age that we're at. The older we get, the shorter our days become. That's just common sense. But there's just some people that you're just not ready to see go. And one of those people for me is John Madden. And we have John Madden passed away. Going to get into this article from Deadline. I think every article is on Deadline for today. But John Madden is being remembered, dearly loved by millions, and nobody had a bigger impact on the NFL. I think that is putting it very lightly. John Madden influenced so many parts of what we watch in the U.S. as football, American football, and players, teams, colleagues, friends, fans are all mourning John Madden, the Hall of Fame NFL coach turned broadcaster who died today at 85. And that was not today, that was yesterday. So he passed away yesterday at 85. I'm going to go ahead, read a few of the tributes, and just say goodbye to John Madden. Influenced video games. I can remember being a young girl and playing Madden with my brothers and his friends. And yeah, so there's a statement now on the passing of the great John Madden from CBS Sports. And they put up a tribute to John Madden. Also, we saw that John Madden was dearly loved by millions of football fans worldwide. While it's a very sad day, it's also a day we should celebrate the life of a man who brought joy through the game of football to millions. So he's a Hall of Famer, of course, and the Professional Football Hall of Fame did recognize him. He was also a coaching and broadcasting legend and loved by all. You will be missed. R.I.P. John Madden. That is from the great Jerry Rice, arguably the greatest wide receiver. So sad to hear this. Such a fan of his. Growing up in my era, it was Pat Summerall, yes, and John Madden on Sunday. No matter who your team was, they changed the game of how football games were broadcasted. He was a legend as a coach and a broadcaster. His thoughts and prayers with the family. So we can see that he touched many generations of American football. And now we're getting some visuals. Ain't that some shit? uh, you could just see the tributes pouring in. John Madden will be missed. Gosh, his iconic voice, the football knowledge. The man was a scholar when it came to breaking down a football game and letting people know exactly what it was that they were seeing happening if they were unsure of what they were seeing. He gave them an opportunity to learn the game. A lot of what I know about the game of football came from listening to the play-by-play and color commentary by John Madden. And I truly will miss just knowing that his presence was still looming over football after all these years. So yes, I will miss John Madden, and I'm pretty sure I'm not alone in that. So if you've got any favorite stories about John Madden, the video game, or anything else, put them in the comments. I'd love to hear what your thoughts were on the man. I really don't even remember a controversy ever surrounding John Madden. He was great for the game, and people like that who love what they do feel like they never have to go to work. It's like he played football, then he coached football, then he broadcasted football, and uh, that seems like a love for him. It wasn't a job. Somebody is actually paying him to do what he loves. And yeah, he will definitely be remembered. Okay, so I wanted to get that out. And there's another silly. Oh, by the way, I remembered to put the links for these articles in the show notes. So if you're interested in reading them at length, they are there for you. This next one is just like a complete 180. I just flipped and went the other way because we was talking about John Madden and what he meant to us as far as professional athletics, specifically uh, NFL, National Football League football. Now we're going to go into somebody who used their powers for evil, and that is Food Network's worst cooks in America murder suspect has to submit DNA. And this is who we are talking about. Ariel Robinson. Ariel Robinson was a former contestant on Worst Cooks in America. In fact, she won season 20 on the Food Network. She stands accused of homicide by child abuse. This is somebody who we had watching them on TV. She has to submit a DNA test for this case that she is facing. She was arrested in January of this year for the death of Victoria Rose Smith, who had been placed in Robinson's care by the South Carolina Department of Social Services. The trial is expected by the end of the summer. The accused, Ariel Robinson, I'm sorry, was accused of harming this child that was in her care. She also won Worst Cooks in America on Food Network. That was on August 2nd of 2020. So just last year, she won $25,000 in a Food Network cooking set. I don't know if it would be worth it to embarrass myself on national TV for 25,000, but here we are. Of course, that makes the Food Network, puts them in a very precarious position because now they have to remove everything on their network that had her in it, just because of this arrest, just because she is facing these horrible, horrible charges. Victoria Rose Smith was scheduled to be adopted by Robinson 5 days after her murder. Now, her husband, Ariel Robinson's husband, was also charged with homicide by child abuse. In this case, he's out on $150,000 bond. His trial is not scheduled, but he is under house arrest. So, Robinson, the male, Jerry, told investigators that his wife frequently beat the baby, frequently beat this child, and claimed that he was outside of the house when he heard his wife hitting a little girl with a belt on the day that she died. Ariel Robinson later claimed that the girl died from drinking too much water. I mean, and that happens. So before you take the way I'm looking right now, the facial expression that I just had, before you take that as me not believing that that could be a cause of death, it absolutely could, because people do die of water intoxication. This is not the case with little with little Victoria. Uh, she had multiple blunt force injuries, and she was found unresponsive at this house of horrors for her on the afternoon of January 14th. So it was supposed to be formalized for her adoption just 5 days after her death. And I just wonder if she would have survived, what a lifetime of abuse this child might have suffered through. Um, it's sad that she didn't have, I guess, the care that was meant to be had when these children are placed in these homes. Uh, if they're not getting checked on regularly, anything can happen. This is how kids fall through the cracks. So yes, they have ordered Ariel Robinson's DNA, and she's held without bond at the Greenville County Detention Center in South Carolina. There are also four other children that were in the home with the Robinsons, two boys that are biologically related to Victoria. They are all under state care. So if there's any other breaking news on this freaking piece of crap who did this to this child, or allegedly, I guess I better use those words, who allegedly did this to this child, um, if there's any other information that comes out, I will definitely pass that on. Of course, we're going to move into kind of what we consider some is loosely entertainment news, because now we are seeing that people are not. I don't know how well we're taking Omicron in them seriously, but it's got the potential to shut things down, or at least slow things down quite a bit in the entertainment industry. We watched Spider-Man No Way Home earn over $1 billion now at the worldwide box office. So we all are excited, especially people who are movie and film fans. We're super excited. Hey, this movie is doing its thing. Maybe everybody is ready to get back into the theaters. And let me tell you, there are certain movies that you want to see with a big crowd. Spider-Man No Way Home was one. Coming up right behind that, we've got The Batman, which dropped a trailer this week that looked freaking awesome. So we'll talk about that in a little bit. But yeah, when that movie comes out, that is also one of those kind of an event movie. We want to watch on the big screen Batman, early Batman, played by Robert Pattinson. We want to watch him kick the crap out of people, because that's exactly what it looks like is going to happen in this movie. I know I said I was going to wait to talk about it, but I cannot. But yeah, we know that he's going to kick the crap out of some folks. We want to see that on the big screen alongside some other film fans, comic book movie fans, especially of the Batman character. Now, Omicron could be putting its foot down and saying, though, we need to sit our asses down somewhere, because this virus it's moving so rapidly. It started with one person, or at least that's what they say, the CDC, who I got beef with this week. But the CDC announced that it had identified Omarion. It had identified an Omicron case in the U.S. in November that is now determined to be the earliest known case of this arrival in the U.S. This country don't need Omicron or Omarion or Alicia Keys, as Lil Nas X put it. We don't need any more variants. And in this case, the person who is said to have been the first case in the United States came in from Nigeria to Nebraska. He was 48 years old. That one person jumped it off. That was the jump off. And now Omicron is the most prevalent variant of the virus that we are seeing. I can honestly say, now, I don't know. My sister and her husband and her family haven't had tests, but they had all the symptoms. So my family has had it. They were vaccinated, of course, but they also, the case was mild, but nobody wants to be sick. I know I don't have no desire to get sick. But in this case, there are so many people getting it. But if you are vaccinated, it's said to be a milder case. But imagine passing that along to somebody that you love, who has not yet gotten vaccinated for whatever reasons. We got some who just don't trust it. We got some who just don't believe in it. And then we got all kinds of people right up the middle. So there are a lot of people who are not vaccinated who should be very concerned about this variant because it's hitting everybody, the vaccinated, the unvaccinated. And in fact, we see that Hugh Jackman tested positive for COVID. So the Music Man is the Broadway show that he was involved with. It has to go dark all through the new year because your stars are getting sick. Of course, Hugh Jackman is very famously vaccinated, so I hope that he is doing well. I hope that he is not he is not suffering as badly as some people can be with this variant. But yeah, Hugh Jackman tested positive for the coronavirus, and the co-lead revealed last week that she had tested positive for the virus. But for now, performances are set to resume on my birthday, January 2nd. I don't know how we're going to do this. I don't know. Maybe they, like I said, they had mild cases because I cannot imagine having been sick for a week or two and then have to get up and dance and sing. And I know that there are people, celebrities and all that do this all the time. I couldn't do it. Could not be me. Uh, it is a less dangerous variant, but then, like my sister, her symptoms where she had an excruciating headache. She is nasally and sore. She had a fever. So yeah, the same stuff that's been happening, I guess, to everybody all around the world. But it hits a little different when it's your family and your sister. So yeah, but Hugh Jackman was tested positive for COVID, and he said he's gonna get back to doing his thing in the Broadway musical, The Music Man. And I would have loved to have seen him in this after watching him in oh damn, what was that one musical movie that he did? It was kind of recent. The Greatest Show on Earth, The Greatest Show. That was the bomb to me. I loved, absolutely loved that movie. And yeah, so we're sending out get well soons to Hugh Jackman, and hopefully he can get back to work, get back to doing what he loves uh, sooner rather than later. But that's just to letting you know this Omicron variant is threatening to affect entertainment as we know it. The NFL, the NBA, the NHL, all of these sports leagues have been plagued by the virus, and when it hit hard. You're losing like 100 athletes every well, in each one of these sports leagues, at least 100 athletes have been tested and are under COVID protocols. So don't take no chances with your own life. Make sure mask up. Just do it for me. Even if you don't believe this shit is real, just do it for me. It'll make one woman very happy that to see that people are taking care of themselves and are being safe out here in these COVID streets. Um, Now moving along, we're gonna get through this as quickly and as painlessly as possible. Ooh, they moved that article on me. Let me find I was gonna do an article about Lana Wachowski. We know that The Matrix Resurrections was released this week. So let me see. Nope, it's gone. That article, they pulled the article down. I don't know if they pulled it down because they were threatened with litigation. But the Matrix Resurrections came out this week, and it wasn't universally loved. If you watch my channel on a regular basis, you will know how I felt about the movie, which spoiler alert, I did not like it. Didn't like it one bit. I don't know. I felt like I wasted 2 hours of my life. I did not like the movie. That doesn't mean that you won't like it. So if you haven't watched it, you know, as long as you are going to do it safely, you can watch it on HBO Max or you can go to the theaters. But I would definitely like to know what you thought of it if you had a different opinion than I did. But yeah, there was a report that said that Lana Wachowski, if she wouldn't have come back to direct this sequel, they was gonna just find a new director. So they like basically said you could be involved with your baby, and you can make this movie for us because we're gonna make it with or without you. And it could very well inform why the movie was so strange and why they had so many little name drops of Warner Brother in the movie, and how they talked about sequels being completely unnecessary in a completely unnecessary sequel. So maybe that is why uh that thing played out the way it did. Hopefully we'll get more information on that. But since we're talking about the Matrix Resurrections, let's talk about how it bombed basically on streaming and the box office. I'm sorry. First of all, one part of the bomb is that it's being pirated. Of course, when you put your big movies, and I guess I've been on this soapbox the entire year. For all of 2020, I have been on this soapbox. All of 2021. God, because 2021 is actually 2020 the sequel. So you can call 2021 2020 part 2. You could call it 2020 the aftermath. This has been nothing but a repeat of Groundhog Day of last year, but that's just me trying to cover up my mistake. I've been talking about this all year, that this shit going straight to HBO Max was a bad idea. And of course it is, because all I have to do is watch it once, and now I have a brilliant, pristine copy to go out and push out to the world, pirating this movie. Matrix Resurrections also ranks behind Godzilla vs. Kong in streaming viewership. And I don't think I'd be too surprised about that, because quietly, Godzilla vs. Kong wasn't that bad. It wasn't the greatest movie, but it wasn't that bad, you know. Matrix Resurrections was. Matrix Resurrections was definitely a bad movie. It earned, let me see now. Warner Brothers Village Roadshow's theatrical day and date release of The Matrix Resurrections didn't wow in its 5-day opening at the domestic box office. So in those 5 days that it started on December 22nd, going through that weekend of Christmas, it made $22.5 million. And that's ridiculous. And then in its HBO Max debut at homes, it was okay, watched by just about 3 million people. Let me put that in some context. That show, the new Sex and the City reboot, HBO Max announced that show had or led to the most same day subscriptions. So people basically subscribe to the channel or subscribe to HBO Max, and the first thing they watched was Sex in the City. So there are a lot of people who just subscribed just for that show. That is what brought the most subscribers in the whole year of 2021 to HBO Max. Not the Snyder cut, not Doom. I'm kind of glad it wasn't Doom because I really love that movie. Not the Matrix Resurrections, not any of those other movies. None of those brought as many subscribers as something that they made specifically for the streaming service, which tells me that this little experiment was a complete and total failure. It was a failure. 3 million people watching HBO Max's The Matrix Resurrections at home during that first 5-day run is not, it's not a lot to brag about, because when you think about that, take it back to the movies. 2.8 million people. You're going to multiply what, the $10 that they would have paid to see it, and that's another $28 million. But we look at a movie like Venom, Let There Be Carnage. We look at a movie like Black Widow, even. We look at those movies made that in their opening 3-day window. You know what I mean? Now, of course, Disney did Black Widow in too, but we'll talk about that another day. I harped on that for months as well. But they still made more money. So it was like a lot of people, I'm sure, realized I can watch this shit on HBO Max. I already got HBO Max. I might as well watch it at home. And that's what many folks did, myself included. And I'm really glad that I did, because I'm glad I watched it at home, because I would have hated to have been in the theaters and been as disappointed as I was with the finished project. Also, I had just went to the movies the week before to see Spider-Man No Way Home, and it was jam-packed in there. And I didn't even like that. I didn't like being in there with that many people, but I love that movie. And I actually strongly considered going back to see it again. That's how much I love the movie. With Ghostbusters Afterlife, I went to the movies. It wasn't quite as packed, but I fell asleep on that movie. So that was like, okay, I exposed myself to this virus. This movie wasn't for me. And now I'm sitting on pins and needles wondering if I'm going to get sick. That's why I'm glad I didn't go out and watch Matrix Resurrections, because I would have fallen asleep on that movie. At the theater, I would have fallen asleep. Here at home, I had lights, same lights that I'm using right now. I had lights and stuff, and it was still not catching my attention. I'm able to pause it and move around a little bit at home. So anyway, I know you don't want to hear me complaining about watching the Matrix Resurrections at home or on the big screen. And if you liked it, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with you. It might just be something wrong with me, something part of this movie that I just didn't get, but it just didn't hit well with me. And if you want to know more about how I felt about the movie, you can watch my video on my YouTube channel. So yeah, of course, now it's starting to sound like this was just a cash grab. This movie in itself was just a cash grab. There was not any care taken into making sure that we got the best movie we could get. And I don't want to drop any spoilers. There was not a lot done to make sure that we got the best movie we could get. And then they basically strong-armed Lana Wachowski into directing or passing it on to somebody else. And I got a feeling that Warner might not be through with the Matrix. I hope. Excuse me. I'm sorry. I really hope so. I hope they're done with it, because yeah, they fucked it up. The first three, the Matrix Reloaded, Matrix Revolutions, each one again stepped down in quality. The first one was stellar. The second one was great. The last one was okay, but it wrapped up the story. Many of us were satisfied. We didn't have to see no more of this. We didn't have to see any more of this universe. The story was contained in those three movies, and we learned to live with the product that we got. Now in this age of, oh shit, where else can we make some more money? This is where we at now, where they just like, we just want to make money. We ain't trying to make good movies. We just want to make money. So if we get every Matrix fan to shell out $20 to watch a movie, even though we know this movie is horrible, we're going to get every last one of these Matrix fans out there to shell out $20, and we'll be rich. Didn't work out for them. And I'm glad it didn't. I really am, because that movie was not, it was not good. And also, Matrix Resurrections is the final movie that is part of that experiment that HBO Max was doing by putting their movies on day and date on streaming and in the theaters. So now, if you want to see a Warner Brothers film, a Warner Brothers title, you're going to go to the movies, and then after 45 days, you're going to get to watch it at home. They're even doing that with the big movies, which a little part of me says, give it an extended window. You don't have to drag it like the Batman. We were talking about that just a little bit ago. The Batman is going to be in theaters. I think it's March. So in March, the movie comes to theaters, and 45 days after it debuts in theaters, it's going to HBO Max. Now, if I was a more casual comic book movie fan, I'd be like, well, shit, I'll just wait the 45 days and watch it on HBO Max for some shit I'm already paying for anyway. I might as well wait. If I wasn't as obsessed with these movies as I am, I would wait. I don't know. Let me know if you are one of those people who say, I can wait. I'll wait 45 days. Looking at my watch. Yep, I'll wait. Because to me, it makes sense. If you're not obsessed, if you don't have a big old dog in this fight, it makes sense to wait to watch the movie. But if you're like me, you're going opening weekend. if God is willing, I'm going opening weekend. So hopefully I'll see some of you guys there as well. Okay, moving on past the Matrix Resurrections, because boy, that was bad. We're gonna talk a little bit more about Batman, because I love Batman. And I am extremely interested in what Robert Pattinson is gonna bring to this character. Of course, we've seen the trailers. The trailers look fantastic. This is definitely going to be a darker, more grounded and gritty Batman story. And then you have the beautiful Zoe Kravitz playing Catwoman. How can you miss? How can you miss with these two leading your movie? So they're going to team up in their search for justice in a new trailer for the Batman featuring the Bat and the Cat. And I liked the way that they branded their marketing, the Bat and the Cat. I think that was very nice. The film is going to open in theaters on March 4th. You saw some really intense scenes with Robert Pattinson's Batman and Zoe Kravitz's Catwoman. You saw some really intense scenes. It looks like they are going to lean into their attraction for one another a little bit. But they lean into it in every movie, I guess. But it looks like because this is supposed to be like a second year early in his career, Batman, we're going to see that they have always had that connection with one another. Of course, the Riddler is going to be the main antagonist, but we are also going to see Penguin, and there are little rumors that we're going to see Joker. And that one has not been confirmed yet. We know for sure we're going to see Penguin now. But so we get the Riddler, we get the Penguin, we get Catwoman, and we possibly will get a version of the Joker. So the movie is already shaping up to be a fan favorite, or at least something that's going to drag us all into theaters again. We also see that the Riddler knows who Batman is. He knows his secret identity. Call him by his name. Call him by his government name, Bruce Wayne. And Alfred, played by Andy Serkis, is a key player. In fact, it's something like he is withholding some type of information about the Wayne family from Bruce Wayne, and this is going to show the relationship might have some cracks in the beginning with Alfred and Batman. Not Alfred and Bruce Wayne, Alfred and Batman. That relationship might have some cracks in it because Bruce Wayne trusted Andy Serkis's Alfred, but Alfred obviously was withholding information that could have helped the Batman. So I can't wait to see it. Let me know what you guys think about the bat and the cat, that trailer, it was dope to me. I thought it was really good, and it has raised my excitement level for this movie. Um, Even though I was already over the moon, over the moon. I just want it to be done right. It looks like they are. I want it to be done right, and I want it to be done different. I don't want to see the same origin story, kind of the way Marvel handled Spider-Man. I'm glad they didn't give us the same origin story, because how many times do we have to watch Batman's parents and Uncle Ben die? How many times do we got to watch them die? I hope we don't have to watch them die in this movie. Yes, it's too much. Every couple of years we killing Batman's parents again. Every few years we were knocking off Uncle Ben. So there are other characters. We could tell this story from the standpoint of these things already happened, and now we are going to progress the story past Batman's parents being killed, and I'm for it. I'm for it. Of course, we do see that this is pretty much his driving force. What makes Batman say, "I'm vengeance." This is what makes him. That is what the impetus was for him deciding that he was gonna go and be this vigilante. But we ain't gotta watch them people die every couple years. Cartoons, movies, every couple years, them people laying out in the street dead. They got shot dead in front of their child. Anywho, um, oh, there was another announcement of about a death, and I put it at the end of my notes here. Wanda Young, singer for the Marvelettes song "Stop." Oh yeah, just a minute, Mr. Postman. Yay, 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 Mr. Postman. So yeah, her. She passed away. That hurt my feelings. Even though, of course, like I said at the top when we were talking about John Madden, Wanda Young was 78 years old, and people are living far beyond the 70s now. So it can still be shocking. Can still be shocking when somebody dies. Of course, she had a COPD, and that is what took her out. She joined the Marvelettes when they signed their first deal with Motown. The group scored Motown's first song to reach number one on the Billboard Hot 100 singles charts in 1961. The song was also number one on the R&B chart. It was "Please, Mr. Postman." It was the signature song of the Marvelettes. It's been covered. We have heard Samuel L. Jackson uh, singing that song in Captain Marvel. Remember that one little part? Yay, 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 yay. Yeah, so we even had Samuel L. Jackson singing that song in a $1 billion movie, Captain Marvel. But So Long Baby was on the B side, because I don't know if you guys remember, if you're old enough to remember, we had them big ass records. It was big ass records. And one side had one single. You flip that thing over. On the other side, it had another single. The B side single was "So Long Baby." And that is the song that Wanda Young was the lead on. So, yeah, it was just another sad loss. We lost a lot of people this week. Those were the two I wanted to highlight, though. Wanda Young from the Marvelettes and John Madden. The world has now changed forever. Wanda Young had 3 children, several grandchildren, a great grandchild. She got to see some generations, right? Brothers and sisters, and they have not yet disclosed what the plans for a memorial would be. But yeah, so my heart goes out to the family of Wanda Young, as well as the family of John Madden, because it is so tough to lose somebody that you love around the holidays, because now the holidays start to become synonymous with that loss, and I truly understand it. um yeah. Last but not least, it's a show that I don't watch, that was coming to an end, and that is Insecure. And while we know we're going to see Issa Rae, uh, God, now what part is she playing? She's going to be in the Spider Verse, and I can't even remember. It wasn't Felicia Hardy. She is playing. God, I'm gonna have to look to see. I can't even remember. Issa Rae. Gosh, I can't remember. But Issa Rae was the creator of this show, Insecure, and I'm pretty sure that now that it's all said and done, I'm gonna probably watch it. I'm gonna probably watch it because I'm not under any pressure to keep up. I can watch it at my own pace. Uh, Now, I'm not going to go into no spoilers or something. I just really wanted to say this lady put together something. She moved from being a YouTube creator to creating things on the small screen, and then she's going to be part of the big screen. And I still need to figure out which character, uh, which character she's playing in the Spider-Man universe. Uh, but yes, 6 seasons, well, 5 seasons, I think. 5 seasons of Insecure. I'm very proud of her. The girl accomplished quite a bit. She came from the humble beginnings of YouTube, and she made something. She made something that a lot of people found a lot of pleasure in, and I'm very, very proud of her and glad that she is moving on to not bigger things because Insecure, that was her baby. That was her baby. But I am proud that she's moving on to the big screen. We're going to see her in a big budget movie. And of course, little part of me, little part of me don't like it that it's gonna be on that Sony side of things. But I mean, I don't care because I'm gonna still I'm supporting the Sony movies just like I supported the MCU movies. I'm not one of those stands. I could take the fact that this was an agreement. The agreement is over, or they have reached a point in the agreement where this character Spider-Man goes back to Sony for a little while. I can I can deal with that. I can deal with that. But I'm glad they saw the worth in what's her name? Oh, you know what? She's voicing a character. That's what she's doing. She's not going to be live action. She's going to be in across the Spider Verse, which is still, yeah. She's playing Spider Woman, Jessica Drew. I don't know why that I had to reach for that name. She's playing Jessica Drew, so I am excited. I've been excited about the Spider Verse movie. Now they've been doing very good. Well, they've only had the one. Gosh, but that movie was very good. Like one of the best Spider-Man movies ever, ever. And I mean that. Even after seeing Spider-Man No Way Home, I still loved Into the Spider-Verse. That I loved it just a little bit more. So the sequel is very near and dear to me. I can't wait to see it. I can't wait for all of us to see it, but I'm gonna be selfish. I can't wait to see it. and and yeah, all of these the new Spider people, Spider Woman, Spider-Man 2099, the new Spider people have me very intrigued. I would like to see how this thing plays. And then also just simply knowing that it is a part one to this two-part animated movie. We know that this is intended to be event type movies, or they feel like we already know we got enough for this story and another one, and I would not be surprised if we saw Tom Holland and his Spider-Man show up in one of those animated movies. Wouldn't be shocked at all. In fact, I really hope that that's where they go with it, because it's too easy now. You can enter this Spider-Verse uh through Tom Holland Spider-Man. We saw that he is the one character that just crosses between these dimensions. And why not put him in the animated shit? It's a Spider-Verse. So I'm excited to see what they do with that as well. Um, I am not used to being able to just zoom right through all of my speaking points. I'm gonna like look and make sure that there is nothing that I'm missing because I zoomed, really zoomed through all of my speaking points today. Um, but I haven't checked to see if there is something that just broke recently that I didn't that I haven't talked about. Oh, one big thing, and this is not as much entertainment, is that Jelaine, what's her name? Jalen Maxwell? Jalen Y'all know what I'm talking about. The chick that used to hang around with Jeffrey Epstein. She was found guilty on 5 of 6 felony counts, including trafficking. And that becomes important because there's a black book of people who went on these little trips with Jillian. I don't know why I'm saying her name is Jillian. There were some people who went on these trips with Jillian and Jeffrey Epstein, and they are some very important and powerful people. So, way I'm looking at things is that she probably gonna get suicided. I'm sorry, I know that's a horrible thing to say. Or she about to sing like a bird. And either way, I don't want the lady to do nothing to herself or for anybody to do anything to her, despite the fact that she hurt so many people or that she facilitated hurting so many young girls. But I am very interested in knowing how deep the rabbit hole goes. Uh, Bill Clinton, Donald Trump, Prince Andrew. There are so many people who could be potentially brought down by this scandal, and maybe it would go a long way in us stopping the kind of hero worship of these politicians, these high luminaries, because they human and they gonna do fucked up stuff. Just like you know somebody that's in your orbit in some way, shape, or form who has done something effed up, just like you know somebody, them people do effed up stuff too. So I'm interested in knowing if there's going to be any uh, consequences for those people for running around with a known sex offender, and not only that, pedophile, sick. But here they was, it's all cheesy and hugged up with him and her, So I don't think it should be her by herself. I think that she should sing. Get some time knocked off. Sing. Tell on all these people. Bring out that book and show all the names. My name ain't there. So I don't care. Um, we know that Kyrie Irving finally made his return to the Nets. LL Cool J has tested positive for COVID. He canceled his performances. Uh, it's just a lot of shit going on right now. There's a lot of stuff. So he can't be on LL Cool J. He can't be on the New Year Eve show with Ryan Seacrest. And I'm still wondering how in heaven's name would that even be fun in the era that we're in now, being at this New Year's Rockin' Eve. Uh, Palm Springs Film Festival got canceled. It's just a lot going on. Uh, Joe Rogan, Joe Rogan is like, oh, we got to get a vaccine. I can't go to Vancouver to do my sold out show for my fans. Hopefully he just goes ahead and refunds them the money. He ain't never getting vaccinated. We know that. Uh, Wow, Angela Kulkowski dies. She was the business manager to the Kardashians and was the victim of a suspected homicide, and her boyfriend was arrested and charged with murder. Gosh, it's just, it's a hard time to be associated, or for it's a hard time for Kardashian associations. So the people like Travis Scott, who by the way, he lost a Dior deal. That's the latest shoe to drop in this whole Astro World fallout. he lost another deal, but we're not shocked or surprised by that now, are we? It's going to be far more deals lost than gained over the next few months for Travis Scott. But, and I don't know, Travis Scott does it every year, so I can't say this was a publicity stunt or this was to get some good PR. He was out here in Houston not too long ago, a few days ago, handing out Christmas gifts. So he's still doing his kind of philanthropic efforts, and it could be a little bit of both. It could be this is what he was going to do anyway, and it also could be, and look at how great of a guy I am. I'm doing this in the midst of my own tragedy. So you're gonna get some public support, far more public support after doing something like that, especially in your hometown. Um, so yeah, that's it. I don't particularly have anything else. I don't know. Do you have anything that you want to discuss before I move into dinner time for me? Gosh. I will invite you for tomorrow, though. I'm going to do my top 10 favorite movies of this year. And then I'm going to do my top 5 movies that I was really, really disappointed in. And I think if you've been around for a little while, you know at least 2 of those movies, maybe even 3. I'm going to give people an opportunity to guess which movies didn't hit right for me this year and which movies I loved from 2021. And as far as big movies go, maybe not big, huge, stupid blockbusters, but there were some fantastic movies that came out, not just on the big screen, but also on streaming, because some of my favorites came on streaming. It wasn't even a big screen movie. So I'll be doing that tomorrow at 6 p.m. Central Time as well. If you'd like to join me and have your list of movies ready so we can compare notes, see if we hated some of the same things or if we loved some of the same things. And then after that, tomorrow is Thursday. After that, I'm taking off until Sunday. Sunday is my birthday, but we will be sitting down Sunday to talk about the Book of Boba Fett and the latest episode of Star Trek Discovery, which is also the mid-season finale. So we got the mid-season finale of Star Trek Discovery, and we got Star Wars, the Book of Boba Fett. So let's just say this is an intergalactic episode that we're going to have on on Sunday. So if you're interested in those 2 shows, join me so we can recap those together on Sunday. So I'm taking off Friday and I'm taking off Saturday. If y'all don't mind, I will be here tomorrow for the top 10. Let me think. Was there anything else that I needed to share with you guys before I left? No, I think I've covered it all. It's been fun. I got through this very quickly. There was no games to be played. We usually play a game of black media trivia, but it's like in Jeopardy form. But I don't have enough people in here, unfortunately, to play the game. And hopefully, hopefully we all be able to get together and do things after the holiday. And last but not least, I'm gonna tell y'all this because if you watch it on the rebroadcast, I got a date on Friday. I'm going out. I know that sounds weird. I don't know where I'm going. It's gonna have to be someplace small and quiet because anxiety. So I can't go to no crowded places or nothing like that, especially right now. I don't know how this date thing is going to work. This is probably my first date in 4 years. I just don't go anywhere. I don't want to meet people. I didn't even want to meet this guy. So I'm going on a date. Pray for me. With all that being said, I will see you guys tomorrow at 6 Central Time. Peace.